chicken dip. I'm going to use real chicken. You can substitute canned chicken if you want to. If you're in a pinch and you don't have real chicken and you have to prepare it, you have to boil it. So you can actually use canned chicken if you want to. My kids prefer it this way now. I used to make it all the time with the canned chicken, but I made it once with real chicken and they tasted the difference, so now that's what I'm going to use. So first, I've already obviously boiled the chicken. You don't want to overboil it because you don't want it to get, you want it to stay tender, so make sure you check and make sure you're not overcooking it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of pull this apart with a fork. You can use your hands if you want to. Either way, whatever you want to do. I make this for every party I go to. One thing I can recommend that you do, if you're not making it just for a few people in your own home, and you're taking it somewhere that say there's, I don't know, more than 10 people, I would definitely make a double batch because this goes really, really quick. In fact, people tend to pretty much just sit around this dip and eat it till it's gone. So I would definitely make extra just to be safe and be prepared, because everybody there, if they don't know the recipe already, they're going to ask you for the recipe. So, and another thing I found, which I don't understand why, because this is really easy to make, they always tell me they can't make theirs as good as mine, which I don't understand. It's pretty simple ingredients. I don't always put ranch dressing in it. I'm going to for this because it seems kind of like what the people like, so that's what I'm going to do. So we have our chicken, have that just pulled apart with the fork, get rid of that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to soften this cream cheese. Another bowl. It takes about a minute, I guess, in your microwave. You definitely want to soften this before you mix it because it's not going to mix unless you soften it a bit. So let's just put this in a second bowl. I'm trying to put it in a second bowl. It's not cooperating. Alright, so put this in a second bowl. Put it in a microwave. I'm going to start at 30 seconds. Usually you can tell it's done when you start to hear like a crackling sound, then you know it's done. And then you should probably take it out. So it starts to bubble around the edges. Frank's hot sauce, use the buffalo kind. It'll say buffalo on the bottom. There's a Frank's sauce that's not buffalo. This tastes more like a buffalo wing sauce, and this is a buffalo wing dip. So I would recommend using the actual Frank's buffalo sauce when you do this. Let that keep going. This is about almost a third a cup of ranch and then a whole cup of mayonnaise. So let's see. So we've got this all softened. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Pretty soft. Just add this a little bit. Just kind of blend that in there. If you're doing a double portion, obviously use a bigger bowl. Go ahead and add the ranch. I don't always add this. I kind of prefer it without, but for this recipe, go ahead and put it in there just because a lot of people like the ranch dressing in there. So just add it a little bit just to appease the people who will say, oh, is there ranch dressing in there? And I would say, yes, there's ranch dressing in there. Next, a nice big full cup of mayonnaise. Not Miracle Whip. Use Hellmann's. Use Miracle Whip. Not going to taste the same. You're not going to be happy. So get this a little bit blended in here. I take this pretty much everywhere I go. Potluck. I've even brought it to the park for a mom's trip before, and they were very happy. Cooked it, brought some chips. This is what I prefer to eat with them because these are the thin kind. They're awesome. I like the thin kind. All right, I don't measure the Frank's hot sauce because it's the taste. So I just kind of taste as I go. I've done this so many times I can kind of tell, but you can kind of watch and see. I'm just kind of putting a little bit in there. I kind of go by color. The first time I had this, it was really a dark red. I went to a Blanco party and someone had made this. I'd never had it before, and it was so spicy. And it was a really, like a dark red. So I knew when I made it, don't make it a dark red. You're not gonna like it, it's gonna be too hot. So it's kind of like a medium orange, I guess, but I don't measure it. This is what it looks like now. I can tell by looking at it, that's not enough sauce. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. This might be enough. I'm gonna, of course, give it a little taste before I cook it. Get it nice and mixed in there. Okay. It's a little harder to mix with the real chicken. When you use the canned chicken, it's going to be like a finer, I guess, mix, because the chicken in the can kind of splinters and kind of separates. This is more chunks, so it's a little harder to mix. A little bit more. I'm going by color here. That's going to be enough, I can tell. Now, if you have somebody that likes it really spicy and likes hot buffalo wings, and that's the person you're making it for, add a ton. I mean, if they say they can take it, then let them take it. And just make it, you know, add a bunch. And they can always add more to it if they want. Like they can put it on their plate or in a little bowl and add more if they want to. All right. I'm thinking this is about right. You gotta wait for a second because the heat comes, it takes a second. All right. I think this is going to be perfect. That's what it looks like. This is going to go into preheated 400-degree oven, middle rack. Sorry my light's not working, but uncovered. It's going to go in there for probably 20 minutes. In 10 minutes I'm going to stir it, and then in 10 more minutes I'm going to check it and stir it again. You can usually tell it's done. It'll just start bubbling around the edges. You stir it, it'll bubble around the edges again. Stir it again. When it gets kind of easier to mix, then you know that it's almost done because that means the cheeses and stuff are all melting. So it's in our oven for probably 10 minutes and I'm going to stir it and I'll be back. It's been about 20 minutes. I've stirred the chicken dip twice, so it should be ready to take out of the oven. Let's see. Be careful because it's going to be hot and bubbly and sizzling. Yep. Hot, bubbly, and sizzling. See how it's sizzling around the edges? It's a lot softer. Alright, let's give this a nice stir. See how it's a lot easier to stir now because all the cream cheese is melted, blended in with the mayonnaise. It smells really good. Creamy buffalo chicken. Now, you can have it with Tostitos. I like the really thin kind just because they don't really taste any different, but I just like the way, it's just a nice thin. I just like the thinner kind. Wheat thins is good because you can scoop more because it's a nice thicker chip. These you gotta be careful. I would recommend putting it on another plate because these tend to break because they're a little bit thinner. But let's just say they taste better because they kind of do taste better even though they're thin. So that's what I like to eat this with. This is the, I call it creamy, delicious buffalo chicken dip. You're going to make some people happy if you make this and take it to any function. Take it anywhere. They're going to love it. It's so good. Make double because they're going to just literally stand around the table, eat it till it's gone. And if it sits there, I usually microwave it sometimes, like for 30 seconds just to keep it hot. Anyhow, you're going to make some people happy if you make this. I know my family's happy today because they get to eat this. So until next time, this is Susan from Oh That's Yummy. Have a good day.